Across the vast savanna, the lion doesn't need to display its strength. Its mere presence is enough to shift the rhythm of wildlife. Each step forward carries a pressure that spreads across the grasslands. That power lies not only in muscle, but in the authority that keeps every species on edge. When the lion truly makes its move, who can still hold their ground until the end? The cheetah is a symbol of speed across the African savanna. With a slender build, a flexible spine, and the ability to accelerate from 0 to nearly 60 miles per hour in just seconds, it is built to move before danger can close in. But in the wild, speed alone does not always open a path to escape when a lion presses in. Under normal conditions, a cheetah can get away if it detects danger early. However, while resting, watching over prey, or slowing down for even a moment in low grass, every advantage can disappear quickly. A male lion, upon noticing a cheetah entering its space, will surge forward with powerful momentum. The distance closes rapidly, leaving the other with very few options. Among the big cats, the cheetah is the fastest, yet the most vulnerable in a direct encounter. On the savanna, speed ensures survival. But the lion's territorial authority is a reminder that in nature, the fastest is not always the one who holds control until the end. Lions and hyenas are long-standing rivals of the African grasslands. They share the same food sources, the same hunting grounds, and often encounter each other at the most active points of the ecosystem. An adult male lion typically weighs nearly twice as much as a spotted hyena, but hyenas hold the advantage of numbers, sometimes forming groups of 10 to 30 individuals. Tension often rises right after a lion has secured a food source. With energy already reduced after a long pursuit, hyenas begin to apply pressure using a familiar strategy: moving in, pulling back, constantly shifting direction, signaling for reinforcements, and waiting for any sign of weakness. It is how they create opportunity without expending too much energy. But lions rarely tolerate prolonged pressure. Once the distance closes too much, the response comes almost instantly. A short, forceful charge, a bite force of around 650 pounds per square inch, and the entire standoff suddenly pauses. On the open plains, sometimes a single decisive movement is enough to shift the entire situation. This rivalry goes beyond food. During territorial patrols, lions may also apply pressure to the next generation of their rivals, as part of an ongoing competition between two dominant predators of the grasslands. On the savanna, advantage does not belong only to the stronger or the more numerous, but to the one that can maintain its influence the longest. Across the vast plains, wildebeest move like a living current of the savanna. They are numerous, resilient, and rarely remain still for long, yet they are also among the most familiar targets for lions. Though not aggressive by nature, wildebeest can reach speeds of around 50 miles per hour and react quickly to the movement of the herd. At dawn, golden light spreads across the savanna as one individual lowers its head to graze, drifting slightly from the group's rhythm. In the low grass at a distance, a lion has already lowered its body, patiently waiting for the right moment to close the gap. On this open land, a single moment out of sync is enough to shift the entire balance. When the opportunity appears, the lion surges forward in a short but precise burst of speed. The approach happens rapidly, forcing the wildebeest to turn and react from a disadvantaged position. Yet, even after gaining the advantage, the lion must remain extremely cautious, as the curved horns and sudden bursts of power from its opponent can quickly change the situation. Across the wide grasslands, one well-timed moment not only helps an individual overcome the challenge, but also becomes a source of sustenance shared across the pride as a new day begins. The leopard is a solitary hunter, known for its quiet presence and remarkable adaptability across the African savanna. With a solid build weighing around 200 pounds, it often conceals itself on high branches or low rock outcrops, blending seamlessly into the terrain. When it detects danger early enough, the leopard reacts almost instantly, springing away at speed and climbing swiftly up a tree to create a safe distance. But on the savanna, reflex speed is not always enough to maintain the advantage. In dense grass, where visibility is broken into fragments, even a brief hesitation can shift the entire situation. When a male lion detects a rival at close range, the margin of safety disappears almost immediately. If multiple lions become involved, the pressure increases significantly. Forced into a confined space, the leopard must rely on precision and timing, searching for a narrow opening within a closing formation. Across the grasslands, agility allows the leopard to avoid many unnecessary confrontations. But when space is no longer an advantage, even the most elusive species can be pushed out of a position it once controlled so well. The African wild dog is one of the most persistent and coordinated hunters on the African savanna. Their success rate in pursuits can reach around 80%, thanks to their endurance and constant communication within the pack. But that efficiency also places them in direct competition with lions, a species that closely monitors every shift across the grasslands. After a successful hunt, the pack often enters a brief period of rest, with breathing still heavy and excitement not yet settled. It is during this moment that their formation loosens, and small gaps begin to appear. Under the midday heat, as the pack lies scattered beneath a low tree, a lone male lion quietly approaches from the edge of the grass. It lowers its body, keeps to a concealed path, and steadily closes the final distance. With a sudden burst forward, the pack's formation breaks apart. One individual, a step too slow, becomes separated from the group's support, and control of the situation on the savanna shifts instantly. In the intense competition among predators, no moment of rest is ever truly secure. When focus begins to fade, danger is often already close. The zebra is one of the most alert prey species on the African savanna. Weighing around 900 pounds, with powerful legs and strong defensive kicks, it forces lions to calculate carefully before every approach. In these encounters, success depends less on a long chase and more on securing the right position before the other can turn and react. Using dense brush as cover, a lioness waits patiently as a young zebra moves through the ambush zone. When the moment comes, she bursts forward with speed, while others quickly move in to support, closing the gap within seconds. With strong bite force and sharp claws, a lion can quickly take control if it gains a favorable position. But to avoid the counterforce of the hind legs, it must maintain an angled approach from the side and carefully judge the other's stance. Encounters like these show that advantage does not always belong to the stronger side. Often, the difference comes down to which one reads the other's movement just a moment earlier. Between the lion and the crocodile, there is always a distinct line of confrontation, where dry land meets waters filled with danger. The crocodile is a master of ambush along African rivers, with a bite force exceeding 3,000 pounds per square inch, and a body reaching about 16 feet in length, enough to remain almost completely hidden beneath murky water. But once it moves away from the water's edge, its advantage in mobility becomes far more limited. When a crocodile has remained on land for too long, the balance can shift. At such moments, lions may use their speed and the pressure of numbers to overpower smaller individuals or those caught at a disadvantage. For the pride, it can also become a rare opportunity to access a food source that does not often appear on land. If a lion has to cross the water, the advantage tilts heavily toward the crocodile. From below the surface, a single well-timed burst is enough to turn a river crossing into an extremely dangerous moment. Even so, an adult lion may still break away from a close approach if its reflexes are fast enough, and it is not held for too long in deep water. Water belongs to the crocodile, while land is where the lion clearly reads its advantage. In nature, the line between upper hand and vulnerability does not always depend on which species is more fearsome, but on whose terrain the encounter begins. A single burst of speed from the orca is enough to unsettle the entire surface of the sea. It hunts with explosive power, sharp intelligence, and near-perfect coordination within the pod. Each close approach drives its target into confusion before it can regain control of the situation. Across the vast ocean, very few species can generate such intense pressure. And in those waters, is there any rival capable of challenging the orca's dominance? For decades, the great white shark has stood as the ultimate symbol of oceanic power. A muscular fortress weighing around 5,000 pounds, moving at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, and equipped with an extraordinary bite force. With highly refined senses and a solitary hunting style, it can turn vast stretches of water into zones of constant tension. But that order is being challenged by a more strategic force. When a pod of orcas arrives, the hunt does not begin with chaos, but with a calculated encirclement. They quietly press from multiple angles, redirect movement, and tighten the formation with the precision of a coordinated unit. At the exact moment, one orca delivers a direct impact, rolling the massive opponent onto its back. Instantly, the shark enters a state of tonic immobility, a neurological shutdown that leaves it unresponsive. The focus then shifts to a concentrated energy source, weighing around 1,000 pounds, one of the richest reserves found in nature. As control of the waters shifts, a clear message emerges. Instinct may create a hunter, but strategy is what sustains power. In this contest of survival, collective intelligence has fully overtaken raw strength. In the race of speed beneath the ocean, dolphins stand as unmatched champions, reaching speeds of over 30 miles per hour. They move like silver arrows, relying entirely on agility for survival. But today, they face a shadow of their own kind, one that carries overwhelming strength and one of the most sophisticated hunting systems on the planet. The moment the target is locked, the Orca pod deploys a pincer formation. One group maintains steady pressure from behind, wearing down the target's endurance across a distance of more than 5 miles. Meanwhile, the others quietly position themselves ahead, sealing off every possible escape route. Suddenly, one orca surges forward, delivering a powerful hydrodynamic impact with immense force. The strike launches the target more than 10 feet into the air, instantly disabling its ability to respond through a concentrated burst of force. The formation closes with absolute precision, turning the dolphin's speed into a disadvantage against strategic coordination. Here, collective intelligence transforms the ocean into a high-stakes arena where every move made by the orca leads toward an outcome that cannot be reversed. The orca is the largest member of the dolphin family, reaching nearly 30 feet in length and weighing around 10,000 pounds, yet its true strength lies in collective intelligence. It hunts through sound, speed, and exceptionally precise coordination, maintaining constant pressure on its target. From icy waters to temperate oceans, the orca stands as a symbol of organized power and remarkable adaptability. With each appearance, it reinforces its place as one of the ocean's most formidable apex predators. The tide is the ocean's rhythm, and for the orca, it signals the start of a high-risk hunt. As rising water forms a narrow corridor along the shoreline, this predator, over 20 feet long, begins measuring each incoming wave. Its targets are sea lions weighing around 700 pounds, caught off guard near the water's edge. Hidden beneath breaking surf, an experienced individual accelerates at precisely the right moment. It launches its massive body onto the dry sand, pushing the limits of physics. This is a calculated risk. A misjudgment of just a few inches in timing could leave the hunter stranded. The instant the impact stuns the target, the orca drives its tail and uses the retreating wave to slide back into the ocean before the sand can hold it in place. Younger members watch from a distance, memorizing every inch of movement. A field lesson in absolute precision. The orca's refinement continues when facing stingrays, creatures equipped with defensive spines up to 8 inches long. Without unnecessary force, the orca delivers a controlled tail motion that generates a powerful surge of water, flipping the opponent over. This action places the stingray into a state of tonic immobility, leaving it unable to respond. From the shores of Argentina to the depths of the open ocean, The orca operates through a seamless blend of biological knowledge and mastery over water dynamics. Each year, one of the greatest migrations on the planet begins, stretching over 12,000 miles from the icy polar regions. It is a journey shaped by survival, where a gray whale mother weighing 90,000 pounds must guide her newborn calf, just 2,000 pounds, across the ocean's most dangerous passages. Beneath the deep blue waters, every mile is not just distance, but a relentless test of protective instinct. The stillness of open waters often conceals unseen threats. A pod of orcas emerges like shadows, accelerating up to 30 miles per hour and generating powerful wave surges. The encounter intensifies into a prolonged physical struggle that can last from 2 to 6 hours. Rather than acting without direction, the orcas apply coordinated high-pressure tactics. Similar to their approach against humpback whales, they divide into groups to steer movement and take advantage of brief moments when the calf drifts beyond the mother's protective range. Their advantage does not come from size, but from disciplined teamwork and precise control of space. Across the vast ocean, only those who endure to the very end earn the chance to see the light of the next day. Amid the harsh drift ice of Antarctica, seals seek temporary safety on frozen strongholds. With thick layers of blubber and weights reaching up to 1,200 pounds, they are highly rewarding targets, yet extremely difficult to reach. But for a pod of orcas, this is not an ordinary chase. It is a carefully executed operation, carried out with precision down to the inch. The orcas begin using the wave washing technique with the discipline of a special operations unit. The adults spread out in a horizontal line, holding just a few feet of distance from the target. At an unspoken signal, they surge forward in unison, driving their tails to generate a massive wall of water. The artificial wave crashes in with the force of thousands of pounds, causing a slab of ice about 3 feet thick to pitch violently. If the target still holds on, the pod pulls back, reforms its line, and recalculates the angle of approach with extremely little margin for error, preparing a second wave with even greater force. Only when the frozen refuge gives way and the seal falls into the water does the final enclosure fully take shape, leaving almost no chance of escape. In Antarctica, collective intelligence turns waves into a highly refined hunting tool for the pod known as the wolves of the sea, orcas. It brings not only survival, but also a living chain of knowledge, passing some of nature's greatest survival secrets from one generation to the next. In the cold waters of the North Pacific, black and white shadows slice through the sea at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. This is no casual movement, but a coordinated force of 10 orcas preparing for a full-scale confrontation. Their target? A fully grown humpback whale weighing up to 80,000 pounds, nearly 7 times heavier than the largest predator in the pod. Under the lead of the matriarch, the assault begins as the pod splits into multiple attack lines, surging forward like torpedoes. They drive directly into the giant's flanks, attempting to disrupt its balance. In response, the humpback twists its massive body and swings its 15-foot tail, sending towering waves into the air. That precise strike delivers an immense impact, comparable to a heavy vehicle collision, enough to throw any opponent off balance and strip away control. Yet the orcas rely on exceptional agility to evade this powerful defense. Taking turns, they surge onto its back, using thousands of pounds of force to press it downward, limiting its ability to surface for air. After hours of relentless struggle, the ocean surface churns with white foam and echoes that carry through the depths. Here, survival is not determined by raw strength alone, but by endurance in one of the most demanding tests of stamina in the ocean. With each encounter, the lion shows that status does not come from a title alone. It comes from real strength, proven in every close approach. Within natural history, it stands as one of the clearest symbols of predatory authority. If these moments of the wild are compelling, press like and subscribe to the channel, because in nature, the one at the top must always prove it through action.